and welcome to live coverage of round number 1 of our Race Motorsport Insurance SMRC season here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. My name is Andy Alston and I'll be guiding you through the action across the day, and what an event we have in store for you. We've got about 11 races, lots of different championships and plenty of drivers out there who are very keen to lay down a marker ahead of the start of the season. So there's not long to go until the first race gets underway. We've already had qualifying across all our championships, and first out on track will be our Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. So the drivers are out there on track at the moment. They're just carrying out their warm-up lap. A couple of final checks, an opportunity just to get up to speed and comfortable with the car again, get the tyres up to temperature and get their head in the game as they look to make their way off the grid and get a good clean start for the first race here today. So we're all set for a great afternoon of racing. It's great to be back here at Knockhill, and the weather's looking very nice. It's nice and calm, not too much wind for the drivers to worry about there on track at the moment, and it will be really interesting to see how the drivers all approach this opener here in the Minis. Of course, we have the R53s out there as well, lots of very, very quick cars. It's Craig Blake who'll be leading the way at the front of the grid, and then we have the other Minis close by as well. Of course, the reigning champion Michael Weddle will be out there in car number 1, keen to make a very good impression there as well as he looks to begin his title defence, and it will be very interesting just to see how he approaches this race as well. Of course, in the Minis we've got 3 races all in, and so a good bit of action throughout for all the drivers to contend with throughout the day, and the drivers are just making their way onto the start-finish straight right now, and there'll be not long to go before lights go out and the action gets underway here today. So the atmosphere is building, the tension is rising as the drivers begin to line up on the grid now. We've got our Minis just coming up. We've got the front 2 cars there just now. Let's take a quick little look and see the cars make their way onto the grid. So there is Craig Blake, car number 95. You can see just on our far side there alongside Jamie Blake in the number 97 machine, and then third place man Andrew Lamont there as well. Just further behind you'll see the Mini Cooper Cups cars are down there on the order as well. We've got 25 from the 111 car, 23 and number 7. So we can see just the final cars making their way at the back of the grid, with the action almost about to get underway here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. So we'll hand over now to Dave Christie in the commentary box as the action's about to get underway here at Knockhill.
A huge thank you very much, Andy Alston, for giving us the warm-up there. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the maiden SMRC live stream. My goodness, this has been a long time in the waiting, but we are here and finally poised, ready to go with the first race of the day. This is the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup in association with Project 21 Detailing, supported by Yokohama Tyres and Wheels Around. As we said, Craig Blake taking pole position for the Mini Cooper R53s with Jamie Blake and Andrew Lamont, and then it's Neil Hose, the airline pilot himself, hoping to fly off with the first win of the season on pole position for the Mini Coopers, and it's the 5-second board that's going to go out. Michael Weddle, your 2021 champion, lining up alongside on the grid. We'll talk more about that as the lights go on just in front of the Beatsons Building Supply Bridge. Then we get ready for our first race of 2022. The cars making their way across, and that's a good clean start for all of the cars. Then the R53s a couple of yards up the road then, because they're obviously much faster. They'll be involved in their own race as Andrew Lamont fancies getting a little shot there. You can see Michael Weddle then and Neil Hose side by side coming down through Duffus as well. You've got groups of 4 cars then into the lead then. That's Neil Hose, Chad Little, Michael Weddle and Ian Monroe all locked up in that one. We've got a little straggler at the back there. That looks to be the number 94 of Ryan Smith, but the car's coming up through the chicane for the first time of asking in towards Clarkton. Blink and you'll miss it. Such is the action that we get here at Knockhill, and you can see there that is the number 23 of Ian Monroe having a look on the number 25 there, Chad Little. So Chad Little falling a little bit away there. You can see Michael Weddle in the background, and it is just an absolute clump of Mini Coopers making their way down into the hairpin end for the first time of asking, and that is very, very late onto the brakes there. We'll get an idea to see whether or not that car actually did get stopped. It didn't. That's the number 44 of Ross McComb there, and that looks like that was collision with the number 8 of Stephen Morrison. You saw that car squirreling under brakes there, locking up, trying to leave it as late as they can, and those cars are stranded there. Big damage on the front left of Ross McComb there. We cut back though to the R53s, and lap 1 in the books, and my goodness me, if that is what 2022 has got in season for the SMRC, we've got yellow flags and a safety car out. Wow, we need to take our breath and regroup. What on earth just happened on that opening lap? The R53s, for a change, it had absolutely nothing to do with all of that chaos that went on behind. But it looks like then Neil Ho's still in the lead of the race. We've got a red flag that gets put out across the circuit then. So the session gets stopped there, likely to retrieve those cars from the hairpin there. But my goodness me, what an opening lap there. It looked like we were going to get away with that. And you see the heavy damage to the front left, and I would imagine that car is now completely immobile, and that is going to have to get recovered there. So it's proper commiserations for Ross McComb there on the opening lap of the opening race of the season there. It looks like just a little bit too late onto the brakes there, and careening off into the number 8 there of Stephen Morrison. The cars will be held at the start-finish line then while we get that car recovered, and that was a crazy opening lap to this opening race of the season. So a very warm welcome, as we said, welcome along to the live stream. We've got a packed schedule of races up for you today. 11 races, as Andy Alston said there. We start off with the Mini Cooper Cup. Then it's over to the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloons, and it's the turn of the Classics to show us how it's done. We then take a lunch break where myself and Andy Alston will be heading out onto the grid for the grid walk that is done here at the SMRC, where you get a chance to head out and see the Formula Ford cars that are out there. Then it is the turn of the Scottish Formula Ford Championships, and we're again super lucky this weekend to be joined by the BRSCC National Formula Ford Championship, all fighting out for that David Leslie Trophy. Very prestigious, very coveted prize to be taken away at this early stage of the season. Then it's the Scottish Fiesta ST Cup. Fantastic to see a resurgence in that championship, back up to 16 cars that we'll be seeing out on there as well. A couple of years ago we were going to be looking towards down in single numbers, bound straight back out, and of course very welcome after all of the craziness with the pandemic, both to see spectators and drivers and teams returning in droves here to the SMRC. But, you know, this season marks yet another chapter of forward momentum then for the SMRC over the past few years as it evolves with the changing times here. And while we're delighted to bring this live streaming service to you, obviously, there really isn't any substitute for experience in Knockhill in person. So if you are nearby, if you are in the surrounding area, conditions are absolutely ideal for the racing today, and even better for spectating. So if you are anywhere nearby, highly encourage you, jump in the car, head on down and get yourself down to the circuit. If not, get yourself a cup of tea, sit in front of the old YouTube channel, get it on the TV, and you can enjoy all of the action today. It's hopefully going to be a very quick retrieval of that car that's stuck down there at the hairpin there. And yeah, there we go. That's the recovery truck in position already. It'll be a case of just lifting that car onto the recovery truck, and it'll be taken back into to pit lane. Now, depending on the damage that is there on that car already, it's going to be a case of Ross McComb and his team there trying to get that car fixed. And again, a guest driver here in the Mini Cooper Cup Championship with that Minimax Motorsport outfit. So the team there, incredibly adept. If there was ever any team you want to be with, if anything is going to go wrong, it's going to be Minimax. They know their stuff, so I'm pretty sure that car will be fixed and out for the next couple of races. Talking of which, after we're finished this race here, we move next to the Mini Cooper Cups back at around about 20 to 3. But as always with the timings, they can change, so just keep an eye on the sort of announcements from us as the day goes on. but it's a bumper action of the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup, because you get 3 races in the day as well. They start the day and they end the day as well. Roughly going to be about 5 to 5 for that final race. But great to see that we've got so many returning back to the grids of the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup as well. Of course, you've got 2021 champion Flymo himself, Michael Weddle, who we all very much know and love. I deal with him quite a lot with the esports stuff as well. And yeah, he is a dab hand. As much as I'm begrudged to say it, he is a dab hand behind the wheel, and wasn't 2021 champion for no reason whatsoever. Returning to the grid, as is the likes of Ian Munro in that bright yellow 23 machine as well. Chad Little returning to the grid as well. David Taylor making his welcome return in that number 28 Dundee Performance Racing machine as well. Gordon Long back on the grid. Of course, you know, we know David Long from the Superlap Scotland days here at Knockhill as well. Ryan Smith, Neil Hose as well, who you might have saw from the Knockhill social media earlier on this week. His day job is he is a jet pilot. He is a Freightliner pilot, and I can imagine slightly different to the dynamics of these Mini Cooper Cup cars as well. Ian Hoggins also making a welcome return to the championship, and Ewan Robertson onto the championship as well. Further ado, I think I've done enough talking on the ins and outs of the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. And while we've got a chance to actually go out there, I think we better throw it down to Andy Alston down on the grids.
Yes, it's a very dramatic opener here in the Minis, as always tends to be. Lots of action already, had a red flag and lots of drama to contend with. It looks like the marshals are going to try and get the action underway in a few moments' time. We just see the marshalling team getting that stranded car at the hairpin up onto the recovery vehicle and off the track. A big job there to get the action underway, but our marshals, of course, doing a terrific job, as they always do here at the Knockhill Racing Circuit. So this is a chance for the drivers just to compose themselves before the action gets underway once more. So we'll take a little bit of a look down the grid and just talk us through what we can perhaps expect to see when the green lights go out again. So we have the Mini Cooper S cars, the R53s, and currently just sitting here ahead of us, we've got Craig Blake, Jamie Blake there alongside him in the red 97 car, and then it's Andrew Lamont just here a little bit close by as well. So there is Andrew Lamont. He's looking to get ready here for the action in a few moments' time. And we'll take a look just further down the grid here. It's going to be an 11-lap race when the action does get underway in a few moments' time. But there is the Mini Cooper Cup class just slightly further behind on the grid. And we've got, we can just see just in the bottom of the track there at the hairpin, we can see the blue car is now on the recovery vehicle. So the marshals are just also sweeping up the track, just trying to get a bit of all the debris off the racing line as much as they possibly can, so that the action can get underway as soon as possible. So you can hear a couple of the cars revving their engines, just trying to keep the cars warm. Of course, tyres are going to get a little bit cool here. That's going to make the first couple of laps a little bit interesting, to say the least, where the drivers will just keep it nice and calm, nice and composed, make their way around the track, and then they can begin to make their way through the field. Then they can get the opportunities to overtake as well. So it'll be very interesting just to see how the drivers approach this one. The red flag, of course, is throws a little bit of a dilemma into the mix, to say the least. But I'm going to hand you back over to Dave Christie in the commentary box as we get set for the action to resume once more at Knockhill.
Thanks very much, Andy, down there in pit lane for that one. We're just moments away from getting going. A very speedy recovery job. You'll see a little bit of substance going down to mop up any of the liquids that are released by the car when they head through. But it looks like we are just moments away from getting going again. And again, back to the racing for the first race of 11 today. We've got the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup and the Mini Cooper S Cup. Now remember that the Mini Cooper S's, the R53s that are at the front of the grid, the 3 cars there, they'll only be out for race 1 and race 2. They won't be joining us for race 3. And you can see Andy taking a bit of a well-deserved breather down there in pit lane in the background. Also saw Dr. Robert Johnson, who doing the commentary for the circuit here as well. A very welcome stalwarts of the circuit, and we're just being informed we're going to get 2 green flag laps there, so we'll be able to bring you round the grid's order as well. And one of the things that Andy did touch on there is, while we've got our fantastic cameras crew here from AJK Television dotted around the circuit, also dotted around the circuit, we have to say a huge thank you to the Orange Army there, the wonderful volunteer army of marshals and track staff here at Knockhill, who quite simply, without them being here, we wouldn't be able to make this happen. We wouldn't be able to go racing, and we wouldn't be able to make sure that we were racing safely. And that's one of the things that the competitors all look forward to, is the fact that they know that they're going to be looked after very, very well. But that is by the by. We've got 2 green flag laps here then for the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup, our first race of 11 here at Knockhill, as the car's making their way behind the safety car then. Here we go then with the starting order. Remember, the first 3 are part of the R53, but they still form the grid anyway. So first place is going to be for Craig Blake, alongside on row 1 then Jamie Blake, and then the back of the R53s is going to be Andrew Lamont. Then in the first of the Mini Cooper Cups is going to be Neil Hose alongside Chad Liddell, and then it's Michael Weddle with Ian Munro, and then it is going to be Jack Irvin in 5th position for that field there. Alongside him is going to be Daniel Patterson. Gordon Long is going to be alongside Chris Coburn. David Taylor making a decent start up there. He's going to start in, I believe, in P11 overall. That's going to put him around about P9, or P8 rather, in the overall standings. And then Ian Hoggins alongside him as well. And then Finn Mash alongside Ross McComb. And then Stephen Morrison is going to be at the back of the grid with Andrew Bell, and then Ewan Robertson and Ryan Smith. So the car's making away on the first of 2 green flag laps here. If you've not seen Knockhill, you're in for an absolute treat. It's a short, sharp blast of a circuit, 1.3 miles in length. Average lap times usually around about the 50 to 55 second mark, obviously depending on the class of car that we're racing. The faster cars can do it in under under 55 seconds, and the likes of down to the C1s will do it just over a minute and 10 seconds here. But you get a beautiful view here out of the final corner, the hairpin that leads up to that start-finish straight, and that camera angle absolutely perfect for showing something that not a lot of people appreciate from the TV pictures. Just what a change in in inclination, and the climb up from that hairpin up to the start-finish line is absolutely incredible. But the car's making their way down through Duffus Dip, then through the left-hander at Leslie's, and then that tight right-hander into McIntyre's. And this is a wonderful viewing point on the circuit down here at Butchers as well. The track sort of dips away, and it was one of my favourite places when I used to come here watching the BTCC back in the day, up through the blackcircles.com chicane. And then it's again along a short burst towards Clark Corner here. This is another key overtaking opportunity. It's very, very popular with the likes of Gordon Shen. You'd see him just sticking to that inside line, and a little bit of local knowledge going very, very well indeed. Again, Clark's is a lot tighter than you would like to imagine. It sweeps out to that left-hander there that you can see the gravel. So many cars you will see this afternoon flirting with that gravel on the left-hand side as they try and extend the track as much as possible, try and make the track as wide as they can to make sure that they get as much speed as they can. This is then the back straight then along Hislops, and then down towards Taylor's hairpin. And I believe this will be us gridding up there, and you can see the spectators already making their way into the circuit there. As I said, if you are nearby and you do fancy an afternoon of action and adventure, get yourself down here. It's a proper treat, because you can walk all the way around the circuit, and you can get up to the paddock, and you can go around all the cars as well and see them being worked on. But if you are staying in the comfort of your own home, you're very, very welcome. You're nice and cosy, hopefully sat with a nice cup of coffee and ready for the action. to kick off again. You already knew what we were in store for with that that first lap start there. Chaos and calamity befalling a couple of the cars there. Stephen Morrison looks like he's going to be returning to the grid there in that number 8 machine, but no return for our car that collided into it. But it looks like we're ready to go for the first race of the day. The Scottish Mini Cooper Cup and the Mini Cooper S's are ready to go here. We're going to wait for the Gantry Bridge and heading on, and I can see quite a lot of interest as well as one of our other competitors today. Lucas Blakely going to be taking part later on in the Scottish Formula Ford Championship. They'll be in their first race this afternoon just after the lunch break. Look out for them around about 1:15. But there we go, the green flag flies at the back of the grid. The 1 minute board is held out. That means that the drivers know that we're just moments away from going racing yet again here at Knockhill. We tried it once, let's try it again and see if we can get an entire full lap here at Knockhill in the books here on the SMRC live stream. Very, very excited to be part of this, and in association then with Project 21 Detailing, supported by Yokohama Tyres and Wheels Around. Let's go for try number 2 of the Scottish Mini Cooper Car Cup. Here we go then, lights on the Gantry Bridge. We are ready to go racing. It's a long hold, and out they go. It's a great start for the R53s. You can see moving to the inside as well. That's one of the blue Mini Coopers there, possibly up from the third row of the grid there. And the cars all making their way down to Duffus Dip. Then again, you can see that top 4 all in the same order that they started this race with then. And the R53 streaking off, that is indeed the number 95 of Craig Blake, who takes the lead of the R53s just now. And those things are like absolute rocket ships compared to the other Mini Coopers. A big power advantage that they've got there then, as the cars coming up through over Clark Corner then for the first time of asking. It is still Neil Hose in the lead of the race there, and you're seeing David Taylor starting to feel a little bit racy. He's all over the back of Chris Coburn. They're fighting it out. It's possibly going to be a move as David Taylor moves to the outside, but further back there as well, you've also got the number 8 Stephen Morrison trying to undo that damage that was done to him early on in the first lap. But it looks like we are going to get 1 lap into the books, so the celebrations on hold then as we have a proper race on our hands. And you can see we've got 2 different packs going on there. Neil Hose leading off with Michael Weddle in second place there. Third place is going to be third place is going to be Chad Little and Ian Munro. We've got gravel getting kicked up from one of the R53s. I'm going to presume that is Jamie Blake that is making a bit of a nuisance there. We've got cars drifting over, and this is what I was saying earlier on, the cars trying to make the track as wide as they possibly can. As you see, the leading 4 in the Mini Cooper Cup up through Clark's then for the second time of asking. 5th place then at the moment is going to be Ian Munro. Daniel Patterson down in 5th position. Then it's Gordon Long as well and Jack Irvine. So again, separate little groups that you're starting to see here, all breaking up. The R53s predictably are off into the sunset here as we go into lap number 3 then. And we've still got another 8 laps left to go as we look to the Mini Cooper Cup. Then Neil Hose not really getting too much of breathing space there. You can see the cars hobbling over the curb on the run down through Duffus. Then that is your 2021 champion just in second place there, Michael Weddle. Flymo, as he's affectionately known by the team at the SMRC and everyone here at Knockhill, doing a grand job of keeping all that pressure on Neil Hose there. He's tucks up the bumper. It's a move up the inside of Clark's, and that is how you do it. That's exactly what I was saying there. That is a move that you see time and time again from the likes of Gordon Shin in the BTCC, but just firing the car up the inside. There's way more grip than you think there is up the inside there at Clarkson. That is job done. However, have a look at the background there. There goes Gordon Long as well. Ian Munro tries to get a run round the outside, and that is a move and a half around the exit of the hairpin there. Almost makes it work, but I fear he's going to get shuffled back pack. Chad Little is going to decide to throw that down as well. As you see, Neil Hose trying to move one way then the other. As much as trying to make the move happen, it's also trying to distract Michael Weddle into the breaking point, into Duffus Dip as we go into lap 4 here. The cars come down. In the R53s then, it's still Craig Blake from Jamie Blake, and that's a move up the inside there from the number 25, Chad Little. That was aggressive stuff. Firm defending there, and have a look at that. That's now Gordon Long that's up with that battle as well. Michael Weddle checks out, and that is now a 4-car battle for essentially what is second place in that class. Fascinating to see how that is ebbing and flowing, and Michael Weddle now streaking away as Chad Little has Ian Munro all over the back bumper here. Is it going to be a move into the final hairpin there on lap number 4 of 11? Thinks about it, and again tries to put that move in, and look at that up the inside. That's a move of the century from Neil Hose. Sent it from about 2 car lengths back there. Absolute bravery, and that is proper mini racing. This is like just an exhibition race for the way that these cars are driving right now. Almost 3 wide coming down into Duffus Dip. That's never going to work. The cars file themselves through. Neil Hose tries to make a move there. We see Michael Weddle making his way down into the right-hander there at McIntyre's, and my goodness me, let's have a little focus on the cars further down the order then outside of this battle. It's going to be Dan Patterson in 6th place, Jack Irvin currently in 7th, David Taylor in 8th place, 9th place for Ryan Smith, Chris Coburn down in 10th, Ian Hoggins in 11th, Finn Mash in 12th place, Stephen Morrison in 13th, and then Ewan Robertson and Andrew Bell rounding out the field. But what a race we've got as the cars come streaming down to the hairpin then, and we've only got, what's that, 6 laps left to go here. You're really getting an idea of just how tightly packed these grids are with the SMRC Mini Cooper Cup in association with Project 21 Detailing, supported by Yokohama Tyres and Wheels Around. That is the number 22 and 777 getting very close. That's Finn Mash and Ian Hoggins both fighting it out in the Newcomers Cup. We've got 4 newcomers in this season. Finn Mash, Jack Irvin, Ewan Robertson and Ian Hoggins, all of them very close together, as we've almost got 2 wide again coming down into Duffus Dip. Almost 3 wide as cars predictably trying to make room where there isn't room, and that is the bold move that didn't work. The 22 gets sent almost spinning rounds by David Taylor. 3 into 1 doesn't go, and Taylor gingerly trying to recover that car. And have a look at that, that's number 8 of Morrison. That's a huge moment on the exit of Clark Corner there. Stephen Morrison, excuse me, that was coming through the chicane there. So Stephen Morrison just holds on to that car. Breath a minute stuff here, folks, from the SMRC Mini Cooper Cup. And this is what you've come to know and come to expect from this race. Certainly when I was part of the commentary team here at Knockhill itself, this was always one of the treats of the day, because it was the closest you could get to the BTCC here at the SMRC. It was proper elbows out racing, and nothing has changed. If anything, the grids get a little bit bigger after the past couple of years, and my goodness me, it is brilliant to see that as the grids coming back to life. A lot of drivers deciding to set the 2020 and 2021 season out there, and looks like we're back to business here in 2022. And I certainly think that if any of the drivers are on the fence watching this season, I think this is going to decide it for them. We're currently seeing there the number 333 of Ewan Robertson there, just making his way up towards Clark's, but it's still in the R53's Craig Blake, as Andrew Lamont now gets past Jamie Blake for the Mini Cooper S's. And you can see now the Mini Cooper Cup cars themselves of Michael Weddle, who now streaking off into the distance now. 1.1 seconds is the gap. We've got 4 laps left to go in this race here, and Michael Weddle making it look so very straightforward there. A little puff of the grass on the inside of Duffus Dip as he's coming down though, and then into McIntyre's, but again making it look so very straightforward right now, being chased down, being hunted down by Chad Little and being hunted down by Neil Hose as well. You've got to say, I mean, it was a good start for Neil Hose, but it just wasn't to be right now. You can also see Ian Munro trying to hunt down there. That's the 23 yellow car there, trying to get onto the back of Neil Hose. But one of the things here at Knockhill is that, you know, the thing with Knockhill is that it's such a momentum-based track, and that's something that I always tend to say about racing, is that, you know, you get these tight battles, and if you make a move, you better be sure that you're going to make that move stick, because if you don't, you're going to end up having 3-4 cars behind you that are going to be trying to make that move happen, as we saw the 65 there of Jack Irvin, and that was Daniel Patterson in 18 trying to have a look up the inside as well. And these cars very, very tail happy as well as they try to make their way through the corner. And this is Michael Weddle, the leader of the Mini Cooper Cups. You've got Craig Blake in the 95 leading the Mini Cooper S class just now. But obviously we're having a look at Michael Weddle here in the Cooper Cup class. Now, my eyes might be deceiving me, but I'm looking at the number 25 of Chad Little, and he is actually catching. Yes, he was 0.3 of a second faster than Michael Weddle on that last lap there, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough with just 2 laps left to go in the race. Craig Blake is going to come across the line just now, so we've got, this is going to be 2 laps left to go. And it's still Michael Weddle then, and that gap come down even closer now. It's under a second. We're going to get into the range where Chad Little gets a little sniff of the toe of that car in front there. The 111 of Neil Hoso still trying to catch on. Further down then, it's still Jack Irvin from Daniel Patterson as Ryan Smith makes a move up in towards the hairpin there. So Ryan Smith actually up into 6th position in the Mini Cooper Cup class. So great move from him to get himself all the way up there. That drops Jack Irvin down into 7th. But have a look at that, as that is Craig Blake in the number 95, showing you just how fast these Cooper R53s are. Unbelievable pace to already be putting a lot of the cars 1 lap down as well. But we are on to they're going to be on to the final lap then, as the 95 makes its way down in towards McIntyre's. Out through the chicane then, and past the 333 then of Ewan Robertson, our overall race leader, of course, in that more powerful R53. And this is where it gets difficult for those R53s in amongst all that traffic. Down in towards the hairpin for what I believe is going to be the final time then. And coming out of the hairpin. And there we go, checker flag at the ready then. Craig Blake takes the win from Andrew Lamont then in our first race of the brand new 2022 SMRC season. Jamie Blake is going to come across the line in 3rd place for the R53s. But that means that Michael Weddle still on the last lap then, because they've still coming round just now in that number 1 machine. That gap was 0.8 of a second. And that means that they're going to come across the line very, very shortly. It was Michael Weddle from Chad Little. That gap was coming down, and hopefully we can see that. Yep, there we go then. Michael Weddle comes across the line. Chad Little in 2nd place then. Neil Hose is going to take 3rd. So close though for Ian Munro in that 4th place in that yellow car there. The 30 of Gordon Long. Brilliant improvement from Gordon, actually. From previous seasons, watching Gordon, it's been a little bit of a labour of love for both him and for David getting that car set up. But 5th place, I mean, that is a brilliant result for Gordon there. Ryan Smith in 6th position. Jack Irvin is going to finish in 7th. And just running through the rest of them just now. Then into 8th position is going to be Daniel Patterson. Chris Coburn going to finish in 9th. Finn Mash in 10th place. Ewan Robertson in 11th. Andrew Bell in 12th position. Ian Hawkins in 13th. And then Stephen Morrison and David Taylor finishing 4-5 laps down, so retiring from that race. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. time to breathe, time to take a big inhalation and settle down, because we've got another race coming up very, very shortly. Up next is the up next is the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloon Car Championship. That's going to be a 12-lap race, and that will be happening in just about 5 minutes' time. But the car's heading into pit lane. And as the cars head into pit lane, we've got our pit lane reporter Andy Alston waiting to get the cars as they come round just in a couple of minutes' time. So all that's left to do, hands over to Andy. I hope you were watching that, buddy, because that was one heck of a race.
It certainly was, Dave. What a way to start this season here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. Fantastic action in the opener here in the minis. Of course, the R53 Mini Cooper S-Class. Great action there at the front as the drivers just make their way here into the paddock, and there is our race winner, the number 95 of Craig Blake there. Great start to his season, and he will be delighted with that. There he is, the number 95 driver, Craig Blake, getting his season off to a flying start, and he'll be very, very pleased with that performance. Craig just getting himself ready here, and we'll grab a quick word with him in a moment's time. But great start to his campaign. We've got Michael Weddle there, car number 1 in the Mini Cooper Cup, get his season off to a flyer as well. Of course, it's a championship defence season for Michael this year. But let's catch up with the number 95 driver, Craig Blake, top of the class in the R53 S Cup. Craig, you must be delighted with that start to your season.
Yeah, good start. It's a bit different to the Cooper from last year, I tell you that. A bit quicker, more grip, but good fun. It'd just be nice to see a few more cars out there, just 3-4 more cars and it'd be proper. But no, brilliant start, and it looked like Andy and Jamie had a good battle as well, so nice clean racing, so yeah, happy with that.
Tell us a little bit about your approach to the restart. Of course, we had the red flag early on in the race. Was that something that you had to kind of consider your approach to the second restart?
I'll be honest, I thought they were going to go for a safety car restart, which is why I held back. So I was like, right, we're going for a safety car restart, the green flags are showing, get around to the start line, and the marshal's on the grid. I was like, right, okay, we've got to do it all over again with my brother on the inside of me. So it all went well though, so yeah, good start.
Absolutely.
Good start.
Great stuff, Craig. Congratulations, and look forward to seeing you in race number 2. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of other drivers here. Let's catch up with our Mini Cooper Cup man, Michael Weddle. Michael, congratulations. A fantastic start to your title defence. Just talk us through that one.
Yeah, no, I got a really good start. I managed to get by Chad on the opening lap, and Neil was a bit slow coming out of the chicane, so I went for a move up Clark's, and then once I got the move done, they started battling behind there, so it was quite an easy drive to the end there just to manage the gap, really.
And what a move as well. It's a very, very interesting part of the track to make a move there up the inside, to say the least. But just talk us through that one.
Yeah, it's one of those moves that you have to be fully committed to. If you're not committed, you can end up tagging the person there. But I think Neil seen the move coming early as well, so he kind of knew what was happening. So he backed out of it, so kudos to Neil for doing that. Once I knew I was fully alongside it, I was going for the move no matter what. So no, happy to start off with a win.
Absolutely. And tell us a little bit about just the kind of work that you've been putting in behind the scenes this season just to get the car ready and get yourself ready. It's been quite a journey to start this title defence.
Yeah, the guys at Minimax have put in a solid effort. I think the engine's been out my car about 3 or 4 times, so without those guys are going to be possible. But again, the support from all my sponsors, D. Harrison's and Son, Summer Oils View, Mac Graphics, Decorate, Renovo Services and OTL Racing, I wouldn't be here, so no, delighted to start it off and give them a win.
So great stuff, Michael. Many congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Michael Weddle there, our winner in the Mini Cooper Cup there. And there is the race-winning car in that class, and Michael Weddle very, very happy with that one. Let's get a quick word with Mr. Hose here in the 111 car. And Neil, very interesting race there to say the least, packed full of drama. Just talk us through that one from your perspective.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I had a better start in race 1, I think. Had a nice little gap, so I didn't have to defend, and then we had the restart. Yeah, I had to do it all again, but I could see Michael going for the move in at Clark's, and I was like, I can't really close the door because it's going to end up in the door. So he got through, and then Chad was right there, so instead of me focusing on staying with him, I was kind of half defending with Chad. He made a lunge going into McIntyre's, and to be honest, first race of the season I just gave him the space, but it caused me to miss a gear. I had to give it a wide berth, otherwise there was no way he was getting through. But my car's in one piece, and yeah, we got into the next one from a reasonable chance, third on the grid, so take it from there.
So great drive there, and all the best for the next one.
Cheers.
All right, well, what an opener that was there in the minis. Great action throughout, and I'll hand you back over to Dave Christie in the commentary box for the next race, which will be getting underway in a few moments' time.
Thanks very much, sir. Andy Alston down there in the Holden area with all of our winners, and what a great race that was. If any race you could have to start off the 2022 season, of course it has to be the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. But we have to divert our attention, and this is something that has been growing on me over numbers of years here. So again, this is the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloons Championship in association with the Edinburgh Watch Company. Let's quickly take you through the grid then. Alistair Coates on pole position from Michael Anderson. Charles Cope on row 2 alongside 4th place of Ian Mitchell. Alistair Bapty on row 3 with Jimmy Crow. Mario Ferrari and David Riley on row 4. And then in row 5, Ian Morton alongside John Kinmond in that wonderful Rover 3500. Adam Kinmond, his son, on row 6 with Duncan O'Neill in the legendary XR2. Nicky Dixon in row 7, and then Donald Dewar alongside with Paul Bowers and Russell Patterson at the back on row 8. Row 9, Elliot Patterson and the iconic car of Tommy Gilmartin in his Morgan. Row 10 is Andrew Graham and Shawnee Patterson, Craig Houston and Kenneth Brown, and at the back of the grids is going to be our final car. But we are on the grids of Martin Reynolds is at the back. But anyway, we are ready to go then for the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloons Championship then in association with the Edinburgh Watch Company. This is open basically to cars before 1985. There is a special car class for cars up to 31st of December 1990, and that is to accommodate the XR2s and certain other cars from that era as well. The XR2s hold a very, very special place in the heart of many racers here at the SMRC, and we have to make sure that we can hold on to that legacy for as long as we possibly can. And big shout there to the likes of Duncan O'Neill for single-handedly keeping that dream alive of the XR2s, and the incredible work that him and his team do behind the scenes, keeping as many XR2s up here in Scotland as they possibly can. With classic racing, it is a very different kettle of fish. What you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, unlike almost all of the other classes that are out there today, the cars, the drivers here, they can't get spare parts from your local car retailer. It's all custom made for these cars. And what a lineup we have for you then today. The cars ready on the grid, the green flag waved from the back there, and we are about a minute away from going live. 22 cars here. I think that's probably one of the biggest fields I think I've seen here for Scottish Classics Sports and Saloons. The 30-second board goes out as the marshals signal. 5 seconds left to go. The lights are about to come on. You can see Tommy Gilmartin up in the front there, and the lights are on. We hold, and that's a fast turnaround, and it's away we go. You can see the different paces. This is probably going to be one of the most enjoyable races of the day here. The cars very, very respectful of each other, and you can hear Tommy Gilmartin roaring into life there, down into that first corner there with the number 77 Morgan 8 there. But there's a big bad Rover 3500 of John Kinmond here, one of my favourite cars to see here. The roar from that engine is absolutely sublime, and this is why I kept saying in the beginning, if you are nearby, get yourself down here, because it is an absolute treat to see these cars. So we'll give them a lap or so to get in, because remember there's about 6 different classes here. You've got class A, B, C, D and E, and what they tend to do is that they're all organised on engine power. So while they're all fighting each other on the track, they're all fighting for these class positions as well. And already, just like that, much faster than the Mini Coopers, we've already got a lap into the books. Have a look at Tommy Gilmartin, starting to get a little bit of a gap there over John Kinmond in that second place. You've got Russell Patterson in the beautiful red Morgan +8. He's down in a different class to Tommy Gilmartin there. as the three of them, they're in a bit of a class of their own right now. Shawnee Patterson in the Triumph TR8 in 4th place on the road right now. But again, with all these different classes, it means that we have to keep an eye on exactly what class they're in to give you an idea of exactly where they are right now. But yeah, these things are a proper sight to see down. And have a look on the inside there, Russell Patterson, as late on the brakes. That's going to be a position taken then ahead of that Rover 3500. But again, you just see the proper power slide from that Rover engine. Heads out as we hear what sounds like a car exiting stage left into the hairpin there. Tommy Kilmartin now with about half a second lead over our second place car right now. Russell Patterson, John Kinman down into 3rd position, Shawnee Patterson in 4th, Andrew Graham in 5th position. But let's have a look at the classes then. So Class A at the moment led by Mario Ferrari in the Alpha Sprint Trofeo, and he is down in 11th place overall. Class B is currently led by Charlie Cope in the Volkswagen Golf GTI. A Golf GTI in this Classics. My goodness me, that's about as scary as the XR2s in the Classics as well. But Charlie Cope leading in that Class B. Class C is currently led by Russell Patterson in the Morgan Plus 8. Then it's going to be on to Class D, Elliot Patterson in the number 73 Morgan 8 as well. And then Class E, Tommy Kilmartin at the head of the field. No surprises there in that Morgan Plus 8. Nearly a 4-litre engine in that car, and my goodness me, it sounds amazing. That's a huge wobble, and Tommy Kilmartin has to give that position back there, and that is going to be a big moment coming out of Duffus there. Now I wonder if Tommy is actually struggling with that car, because there goes John Kinman trying to go through the inside. That's never going to work into the chicane there, but that now means that Russell Patterson takes the lead overall. But again, with the different classes, Russell Patterson is in C class as well here. So Tommy Kilmartin having a bit of a struggle coming down onto the brakes at Duffus Dip there, gets regained. But again, John Kinman now smells blood in the water, and it could be that these two just want to fight each other. So from experience, John Kinman and Tommy Kilmartin are, they love being beside each other on track. They love giving each other a good scrap out there on the tarmac here, as you see one of the XR2s, unsurprisingly, not quite able to cope with a 4-litre engine tearing its way around Knockhill racing circuit here, but it is still Russell Patterson in the lead on the track. But as I said, classes are what we end up having to go on. That's where we get the points here from. But yeah, beautiful Morgan Plus 8 there making its way. And interestingly, both Russell Patterson and Tommy Kilmartin in that Morgan Plus 8, but both of them in different classes as well. Also in a Morgan 8, Elliot Patterson in the lead of D class. So it looks like the Morgan is a bit of a card to choose for this Scottish Classic Sports and Saloons Championship in association with the Edinburgh Watch Company. But 8 laps left to go in this race. You can see the Volkswagen Golf just making its way in, and again a very iconic car, but not one that you would imagine is old enough to be in this championship, but it is, and such as how quickly time goes by. And that is John Kinman up the inside of the number 71 of Paul Bowers there, putting a lap down on the Fiat 128. And again, one of the things that I love from my time on the commentary team here at Knockhill was, you know, I'm relatively new to the scene of the classic sports and saloons, so you know, getting taken under the wing of the likes of Alistair Bapty and having explained you know, the amount of work that is put into all of these cars from all of these drivers and all of these teams here is absolutely sublime to hear about. And again, it really makes you appreciate with the fact that these guys and girls can't just go to their local car parts store and grab a part off the shelf for these cars. Some of them are 30, 40, 50 years old, and they've either got to be forged, they've got to be manufactured, or they've got to be made specially for these cars, or you've got to pay over the odds for car parts to actually replace them. So a bit of a labour of love for many of these drivers, and again, fantastic to see these growing grids here. 22 cars out here, and I don't think I've seen the grid that top there. And also a great point there actually made from one of our viewers on YouTube, of course, to tie in with this. Gordon Shedden, of course, taking part at Goodwood this weekend in one of the historic cars as well. So historic, I think racing is having a bit of a resurgence just now. You're seeing the likes of the Goodwood Revival getting massively popular here, as you see John Kinman again just launching that car out of the exit of the hairpin there. It drifts round like you wouldn't believe, and I can only imagine how much fun and how leery that car is to drive there. Whereas the Morgan of Tommy Gilmartin, you see just blitzing through the picture there, looks to be a much more enjoyable, refined affair, if not a little bit more exposed and a little bit colder here at Knockhill, it's got to be said. But through the chicane then, and again on a straight line, John Kinman looks like that car has the grunt, but through the tight twisty part, Tommy Gilmartin's Morgan just seems to have the upper edge here. But Kinman's roaring down on that tiny little Morgan. I can't even imagine how big that Rover 3500 must be in Tommy Gilmartin's mirrors as we watch them coming down. 5 laps then left to go, ladies and gentlemen, on the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloons Championship. Then it'll be into lunch break and it'll be over onto the grid walk for the Scottish Formula Ford Championship and the BRSCC National Formula Ford Championship as well. So very special race weekend as well. We'll talk a little bit more about the David Leslie Trophy as we get into that, but we see the number 77 of Tommy Gilmartin there. A little flick of that Rover 3500 there. Let's take you through the classes once again then on these closing stages of the race. A car that we've not really seen too much of, the number 27 of Mario Ferrari in the Alfa Sprint Trofeo is in the lead of Class A. In the lead of Class B, Charlie Cope in his Volkswagen Golf GTI, 18 seconds ahead of Craig Houston there, so that's Class B. Class C is Russell Patterson, currently setting fastest lap of the race, 56.444 in that Class C. Class D is Elliot Patterson in the Morgan 8 and currently 27 seconds ahead of his nearest rival in Class D. In Class E, Tommy Gilmartin down there in second place. I say down there in second place, but it's unsurprising to see Tommy so high up onto the grid there. So again, with just a couple of laps left to go, and you can really hear, and again, one of the things that makes it difficult to commentate on this race is that, you know, part of me wants to be very quiet and enjoy the sounds of these cars coming across here. And just watching, that is the number 72 then making its way round in towards the hairpin. Then Russell Patterson in that Morgan +8 again. Being closed up a little bit now, it looks like John Kinman has lost the back end of Tommy Gilmartin. I wonder if Tommy's decided to light it up again. In fact, yeah, Tommy out of that final hairpin, and that looks much closer now to the car in front. Then the gap now 2.182 seconds, and was actually still a little bit slower on that last lap there. But I wonder if that means that John Kinman has possibly chewed through yet another set of tyres, drifting like a complete hooligan. That beautiful Rover 3500 through the track here at Knockhill. But Russell Patterson with 2 laps left to go then, still ahead on track of Tommy Gilmartin. But again, remember, different classes, they're all fighting their own individual battles here. And one of the other cars there, a way to get put a lap down. I'll get an idea on that one, because again it just shows the age of the competitors and the age of the cars here as Russell Patterson heads the way through to start the final lap. Then that was indeed the number 40 car. That's Ian Morton in that Austin A4 Arena, and I thought we were going to have a Ford Anglia and a TVR Griffith, but that is Kenneth Brown and Martin Reynolds not actually taken to the start of this race, so unfortunately we don't have them. But there you go, there's your race leader up the inside of your class leader with the VW Golf then, and making a move on the inside of Charlie Cope there in the number 4. Cars everywhere, left, right and centre. That is the number 71 of Paul Bowers in the Fiat 128. But as we're on our final lap, here comes Russell Patterson through Clark then for the final time. It's the long run down to the final hairpin. And I believe we're going to get the checkered flag at the end of this race. What a great start. My goodness me, unforced error there from the Gulf, trying to let the cars through there. 2 wheels onto the grass, and that is not a fun way to spend your Sunday. But the checkered flag is out. Russell Patterson is going to take a win. For on the road, it's going to be Tommy Gilmartin in second place, taking the Class E win as well. Across the line for Charlie Cope in the Volkswagen Golf GTI, taking the win in Class B. Elliot Patterson is going to take the win for Class D, and then in the A-Class it's going to be Mario Ferrari with Duncan O'Neill taking the Ford Fiesta XR2 win, and then Donald Dewar is going to be our leading guest. But on the road, it's Russell Patterson from Tommy Gilmartin and John Kinmans in that Rover 3500. Another exemplary display then from the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloons Championship in association with the Edinburgh Watch Company. Much more refined affair, much more gentle affair with the Classic Sports and Saloon. A lot of respect, a lot of fair racing going on between the different drivers here, and beautiful sight and sound to see them on track here yet again for another bumper season of SMRC racing. They're going to be heading round in towards pit lane very shortly, just making their way down towards the hairpin, and we'll head in very shortly to hear what they have to say. But that is us into the lunch break now, so we've got a little bit longer than we normally would to have a chat with the drivers, and then we'll have a little break before myself and Andy Alston head down onto the grid for the grid walk for the Formula Ford cars. But wonderful sight here. You're going to see the cars making their way down into pit lane. What a race that was there. And again, Tommy Gilmartin, I did when I left or rather stopped doing the commentary here at the circuit, Tommy Gilmartin hadn't been part of the lineup for a couple of seasons, and we did miss him in that wonderful Morgan. So it's fantastic to see him back out on track, and it really is an incredible group of drivers. And you've got to say car enthusiasts as well. But as the cars make their way round into the holding area and into the podium area as well, I guess all that's left to do is head over to Andy Alston, who is waiting for the cars to head in. And Andy, what a race, but some beautiful machines out there.
Absolutely, Dave. You know, the Classics always put on a fantastic show, and this man Russell Patterson did just that in particular as well in this lovely Morgan, the 72 car. Had some great action there from start to finish, and the Classics really putting on a good show, as they always do here at Knockhill. But let's grab a quick word with Russell Patterson here. Russell, great action there from start to finish. You must have enjoyed that.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I was surprised to be in third place at the first on the first lap. I thought I didn't get the best start, but that's the first time I've taken the car off the line. So yeah, I'll get used to it. Maybe I'll do a better time next time. But that was a good race. Yeah.
And how's the car feeling? What's it been like in testing and getting yourself ready for this one? Everything feeling okay?
Yeah, I mean, I only sat it yesterday for the first time, so it's completely new. Driven loads of Morgan, so it's not really an issue. But yeah, you kind of feed yourself in. So the slow bit's me, not the car.
Well, great action out there. Very well done.
Thank you very much.
Russell Patterson there. Let's get a quick word with a couple of other drivers here as we just see the Classics making their way back into the paddock area. Lots of good cars out there. It's a real crowd pleaser, the Classics Championship. So let's make our way down the order, take a look at some of the cars out there at the moment, and in fact let's get a little word here with the number 6 car, Mr. O'Neill. Let's see how the action was in the XR2 class, and here it is here.
Yeah.
Great action out there. You must have enjoyed that.
Yeah, I kind of spun out a belter, just missed one of them, so I done pretty good. I was keeping up with that 2 litre ST, but I enjoyed it. It was good for the first one. Yeah.
We just saw the car at the end of the shot just coming out the chicane, and it just looked like you just lost the back end ever so slightly, but must have been a bit of a nervy moment to say the least.
Yeah, definitely spun out crap, but I managed to go on straight away, so I'm pretty chuffed with that, definitely.
And tell us a little bit about the car. Have you done anything over the off-season to get it?
I smashed it. I ran into the back of Bruce Mitchell in the second last race last year, and I totaled the front, so we just got it so that it would finish the last race. And so I got the full hang painted, and done a wee bit of tweaks on the suspension, so it's going really well now. So aye, it's looking apart for an old car anyhow, so aye, so getting there, definitely.
Certainly, it's great driving out there, very well done.
Cheers, thank you. Ta.
So there we are, some great action throughout the field in the classics. Let's take a little look, let's try and catch up with one driver in particular I'd be keen to get their thoughts on after the opener, Tommy Martin. Let's see if we can catch up with him in the 77 car, because he was having a very good race and then just had a little bit of a moment somewhere through the pack, just something kind of gone wrong. Let's catch a little word up with him here. And Tommy, just talk us through that race from your perspective. The car was looking quite comfortable and there was a little bit of a moment midway through the race.
What had happened, I got a good start, obviously, got the jump start on Russell, and we were sitting nicely there. I wasn't really concerned about anything. Came up to Duffus and went to come down from 4th to 3rd. Actually went from 4th to 5th, and that just totally unsettled the car. And obviously Russell wasn't hanging back, he nicked by me there, and then, you know, it was just a case of hanging on behind. But had it not been for that, we might have had a podium, we might have. But as I say, that was the only thing that totally unsettled the car, and took me a second or two to get back to it. In fact, the Rover nearly got me as well, but no, we managed.
Just about to say that the Rover there was hot on your heels throughout, and it's very, very quick in a straight line as well.
Aye, John's a very good driver, and he's got that Rover handling immensely. So much so that some of these corners here, he's quicker in and out than I am in some of them, but no, we just managed to stay ahead.
Yeah, great drive. Look forward to seeing how you get on in race number 2.
Thank you, thank you.
And Dave, I'll hand back to you in the commentary box.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much, Andy Alston down there in pit lane. Then just to remind you one final time then of your class winners for the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloons Championship in association with Edinburgh Watch Company. Class A was won by Mario Ferrari, Class B was won by Charlie Cope, Class C was won by Russell Patterson, Class D was won by Elliot Patterson, Class E was won by Tommy Gilmartin. Winning the XR2s was Duncan O'Neill, and winning the guest class was Donald Dewar. So that is lunchtime, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a very, very short break. Now, for those of you that are on the YouTube channel that have been constantly asking, we're going to see Lucas Blakely out after lunch. 1:15 is when we're scheduled to see the first race of the afternoon for the BRSCC National Formula Ford alongside the Scottish Formula Ford Championships. That's when you'll see him out in action as well. Also, one of the sim racers to real racers that you want to keep an eye out for is Ben Kreener. He is out in the Fiesta ST Cup at 10 to 2 just now. We'll be back very shortly for a live grid walk. It's going to be Formula Ford cars out on track, so we'll try and get both myself and Andy out on track and chatting to some of the drivers. But until then, keep it locked, enjoy your lunch, and we'll see you very, very shortly.